Hey guys, thanks for obviously stopping by and watching the video. Just remember, if you like it, just leave a like. Um, and if you do find yourself coming back here on the regular, then please subscribe. It may not help you a lot, but it does help me a lot. So thank you, and let's get on with the video.
Bonjour mes amis de la Logique Canadienne, and welcome back to the QB Huddle Session, where this week it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to start it off with the news first, and then we're going to get right into something different. So there's not a lot to talk about, but there are a couple big things. We'll start with the smaller the things, but so tragic in of itself. Former NFL punter and Hall of Famer Ray, I don't know, has passed away. Unfortunately, was considered one of the better punters of all time, and I believe he played with the Raiders. And was one on the NFL's top 100 of all time. So do rest in peace to Ray Guy. We are thinking of him at this time. As we have to move on to something a little more serious, this is kind of a two-part thing. So let's try to do part one and then do part two. Part one, Dan Snyder is finally selling the team. Fucking finally. It took him all of God knows how long because he should have sold the team years ago. But with it, we kind of segue into part two as a possible reason as to why he might be selling the team. The fucking feds are opening an investigation on his ass. Because now his ass is on the federal hot seat. Oh, if they find shit, which I know they probably will, but when they find shit on him, he is fucking caught. Oh, he's done for. Better than sell the team now, he still can. And that's exactly what he's doing. Doing the one damn thing he should have. Hope you fucking get jailed, Snyder. You did it to yourself, you prick. But instead of doing power rankings, we're gonna do something else. The trade deadline has passed on Tuesday, so we're gonna do trade deadline grades. Yeah, trade deadline grades. So I'm gonna look at the trades that happened that happened all season long, which there weren't many. There were not many, but more specifically, we're just gonna give like a quick grade on some of them on the past ones, and then we'll get to the ones that are a little more recent, like for example the Robbie Anderson trade. That's when we're gonna start to pick up the analysis a little bit more. So the first one that was made for this season was the Patriots trading Justin Herron in the 7th in 2024 to the Raiders for a 2024 6, which, considering the Patriots need an O-line this season, I'm going to have to give them a D. Because, yeah, you gave up an offensive tackle, but you didn't gain much either. The Raiders, they got to see because he hasn't really panned out in Vegas so far. The Browns and Falcons made a trade in which Deion Jones and a 2024 7th went to Cleveland for a 6. I'm going to give Atlanta a D minus because why would they trade Deion Jones? If anything, I thought he was perfectly fine as a Falcon. I just don't see the point in trading someone that was fine. He didn't do a bad job. But the same token, Cleveland gets actually a B minus because they didn't have to give up much to get him, and they got an additional pick out of it. For this trade between the Cardinals and the Panthers, the Cardinals receiving Robbie Anderson on the 17th of October in exchange for a 2024 6 and a 2025 7. Considering how so far Anderson hasn't really done much in Arizona, this was kind of a flop for Arizona. so far. The trade was about half a month ago, and we have really yet to see any results out of them. I don't think that the trade worked out right for Arizona, and I think for right now, I'm going to have to give them an F. Because they traded 2 picks. Again, albeit they 3 picks, but still picks. Whereas Carolina just merely gets a C. Because it wasn't the worst trade in the world that they made, nor was it the top tier that they made. They got picks that they used for the rebuild. But in all, I just don't see how that would work out for anyone else. Speaking of Carolina trying to raise their draft capital, we head to the next trade Carolina has made, this time with San Francisco, trading Christian McCaffrey 4 days later for a second the upcoming draft, a third this upcoming draft, a fourth this upcoming draft, and a fifth round pick in 24. Carolina got an A on that. Okay, just 2 marks are not great for Carolina. An A on the terms of what they got out of the trade, and honestly kind of a C minus to D plus on who they traded. Because Christian McCaffrey was a cornerstone of that offense for the longest time, for as long as I can remember. And to see him go now, it's so weird seeing him in a 49ers jersey. For San Francisco, they get an automatic A plus. Christian McCaffrey, in the couple weeks he's been there, has panned the fuck out. Let's put it this way. During his time there so far, he's already been the third player to have a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown in one game. The first time since LaDainian Tomlinson back in 2011, I want to believe. I think that trade worked out for them. Moving on to the next trade, we got one between the Jets and the Jaguars, involving James Robinson going to the Jets for a conditional 6, which the condition stated that it will become a 5th if Robinson can make it to 600 rushing yards on the season. So with that, the Jaguars, I think they made out okay. I think I'm going to give them a C plus because you're trading one of your better running backs that you have on your roster, another cornerstone piece. But at the same token, you got another cornerstone in the making in Travis Etienne. Because so far in the past couple of weeks since that trade, he's been going off. And he's been doing really well. You can't blame the Jaguars for making the trade. And for New York, I'm going to give them a B. Because although they did not need to make this trade at hindsight, they did to hold out for at least the rest of the season. Because Breece Hall is injured in the game against Denver. So, if anything, that's a good replacement option to make sure that your team's a little more sturdy. So I like it. And that's not the last time we'll see the Jaguars on this trade deal, nor the Jets. But we'll move on to the Cowboys-Raiders trade the same day as that trade. Dallas receiving defensive tackle Jonathan Hankins and a 7th round pick in 24 for a 2023 6. Dallas needed this. They needed this. Because their defense has been a little spotty in some cases, and Hankins so far has managed to patch up that hole. I know he's probably played only a week there for Dallas, but the impact was there. The impact was there, and you saw in that game against Chicago. So for Dallas, I'm going to go ahead and give that a B minus. Didn't give up too much. They didn't get too much, but they got a good piece of the defense. For the Raiders, for a team that really didn't utilize them in the way they should, I'm gonna have to give them a D plus for the return. Because again, they didn't utilize them the fucking back. So for them, it wasn't exactly the best deal. Moving on between the Eagles and the Bears, The Eagles acquiring defensive end Robert Quinn for a 4th-round pick of 23. Automatically A+ for Philadelphia. Robert Quinn is one of the better defensive ends in the league. I don't think he's like a top-tier defensive end, but he's working his way up there. Because I think this is a deal that makes Philadelphia better. It showed in the Week 8 game against Pittsburgh, and it showed tonight versus Houston when it mattered. So I think they made away just fine. For Chicago, I'm giving them a C because they could have gotten so much more for Robert Quinn, but they chose to settle. Pathetic. Going on, we got the Giants and Chiefs trade. Involving Kadarius Toney going to the Chiefs for a 3rd-round compensatory pick this year and a 6th-round pick this year. Okay, Kansas City gets a B- because I don't know how this is going to work out. Okay, because I don't believe he's played for them yet. Not yet, I don't think. I didn't see him on any stat lines in Week 8, so it's probably a little tough to tell how he's going to do. But maybe this might pan out, but it's way too early to tell. For the Giants, for a team that's actually been doing really good, they can use the picks all they can still. Because, yes, they're good, but they could be even better. That's why I'm going to give them the same grade of B-. They actually got a good amount for it back. And I think they'll be all right. Moving on, sticking with the Bears, well, going back to the Bears, rather, because they made another trade. So on the trade was completed November 1st, but the trade happened days earlier. The Baltimore Ravens acquired Roquan Smith in exchange for linebacker A.J. Klein, a 2nd and a 5th. Baltimore immediately got better for this, and they're going to get an A. Not an A+, but an A. We know the deal with Roquan Smith in Chicago and how that was going to pan out. We knew it was either going to be a trade or he was going to walk into free agency. With this, things should be a little more clear for him now. And the Ravens immediately upgraded on linebacker. A.J. Klein, Roquan Smith is better than A.J. Klein, I'm going to tell you that right now. For Chicago, a team that looks like they're about to tank, and they might as well might be now. B+ on the return. Good, you got a good 2nd-round pick out of it. At the 5th for added draft capital. You got a guy that should hopefully fill in that Roquan Smith void for now. But you think that was... oh, no, we got more thirsty trades for you. Between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. You know where this isn't going. The Minnesota Vikings acquired T.J. Hawkinson, a 4th-round pick in 23 and a conditional 4th-round pick in 24 in exchange for a 2nd-round pick in 23 and a 3rd-round pick in 24. Minnesota fucking fleeced Detroit. Detroit did not need to fucking make this deal. Or if they needed to, they shouldn't have to give up picks. Okay? They shouldn't have had to do that. And that's why Minnesota gets an A+. Because again, TJ Hawkinson, and they moved down essentially in the draft, but that's okay. That's okay. They can take that little bit of a dive in the draft order, but they can live with that. They're 6-1. They're fine. So they'll be all right. As for the Lions, though, you got fleeced. Just to move up 40 or so spots in this year's draft. And possibly 30 to 40 spots in next year's draft. Detroit, I gotta have to give you a C- on the return because you guys, Oh, man. And oh, hey, it's the Bears again as we move on to the next trade. The Bears are receiving Chase Claypool from the Pittsburgh Steelers for a second-round pick in 23. And not even Baltimore's second-round pick. Their own second-round pick. Chicago, I'm just going to go ahead and just give you an F. Chase Claypool has had a lot of questions surrounding his talent. I mean, there's no doubt he's good, but he's way too cocky. Way too fucking cocky. Even for his own good. For Pittsburgh, I'm going to have to give you an A-. Because you got a high day 2 draft pick out of that trade when when no one even expecting you to do that. If anything, you definitely came out of that victors. Holy shit. Sticking with the Steelers as they made yet another trade to sum with the Commanders, the Steelers received corner William Jackson III and a 7th-round pick in 2025 in exchange for a 2025 conditional 6. Both the picks in next year were conditional, by the way, and I don't even know what the conditions are. For Pittsburgh, they got another corner that will hopefully help their defense up because their defense has been spotty. So for now, I'm just going to give it a B-. For now, because he hasn't played for them yet. We don't know what he's going to be like with that Steelers defensive scheme. Like, there's still some question marks about that. But as of right now, time will tell. For Washington, I'll give it a B- as well because I really don't know what else to give it. Moving on to the next trade, we got it between the Dolphins and the Broncos. The Dolphins received Bradley Chubb and a 5th-round pick in 2025 in exchange for running back Chase Edmonds, a 2023 1st-round pick, and a 2024 4th-round pick. Oh, and if that wasn't enough, Bradley Chubb is also somehow involved in this because he got paid. He got paid. How is a 5-year, $110 million contract extension sound for him? With, I believe it was $63 million guaranteed. It doesn't say how much was guaranteed, but I believe it was $63.2 million guaranteed. Yeah. Miami, take your win in this trade. I'm just going to give you an A-. Because, yes, you got Bradley Chubb. The 1st rounder might be a little iffy, but you upgraded on defense. Big time. Denver, okay, you needed this badly. You needed a running back. You got a running back. You needed draft capital. You got good draft capital. You're going to get an A+. Just for that 1st-round pick alone, you're getting an A+. Next up, oh, hey, it's the Jaguars again. This time they made a trade with the Falcons, in which the Jacksonville Jaguars traded a conditional 5th-round pick this year and a conditional 2nd-round pick next year to the Falcons for Calvin Ridley. You know, the man that was suspended for the entirety of the season for betting, and one of those alleged bets being that the Falcons would beat the Jaguars. That is irony at its finest. Atlanta gets just a big old B+ for that return. They got a 2nd-round pick. Sure, maybe for the 2024 draft, but it's a 2nd-round pick. May have conditions, may have some questions behind it, but it's still a 2nd-round pick. For Jacksonville, just a C. Fine, just a C. To be fair. Because we don't know how that's going to pan out. Moving on, next trade, Dolphins and Niners. Hey, the Niners back in this. Which the San Francisco 49ers acquired a 5th-round pick in 2023 in exchange for running back Jeff Wilson. You know, the same Jeff Wilson that ran right for the Rams defense on my birthday game? Yeah, that Jeff Wilson. So, let me get this right. Miami traded a running back that was of no use to them and really wasn't that decent. And they got a decent running back out of it. So not only did Miami upgrade on defense, but they upgraded on offense on the same day. That's an A minus instantly. San Fran, you didn't lose too much. I'll give you a B minus. Because you have Christian McCaffrey, so you'll be fine. It's clear where you guys are headed now. A few more trades. We're gonna try to do a little bit of a speed round. The Broncos and Jets next, as the Broncos acquired defensive end Jacob Barton and a 2024 fifth for New York for a fourth round pick in 2024. Denver needed to fill that Bradley Chubb void, so I'll give him a B. The Jets, I'll give them a C because they could have gotten more out of it. For the Bills and Colts, the Bills received Nyheim Hines from the Colts for Zach Moss and the conditional fifth rounder in the upcoming draft. Buffalo, A minus because it's Nyheim Hines, and the Colts just get a C plus because they could have gotten more in that return. For the Falcons and Chiefs, the Falcons got Rashad Fenton, but the Chiefs for a conditional 7th. Both teams get a C because I really don't know what to make of it. And finally, the last trade. The Bills received D. Marlowe from the Falcons in exchange for a 7th round pick 23. Bills can hopefully use D. Marlowe just in case either Poyer or White get hurt again. I said, man, okay, B. Falcons, C minus. But that's going to do it for this week's QB Huddle session. What did you guys think about it? Let me know. But if you guys did enjoy, and if you did, leave a like, comment down below if you guys want to see me next. If you haven't done so already, subscribe and join the Lockstar Nation. But until next time, je suis le Canadien. Bon nuit, and au revoir.